Hello, lovely people out there. It's I, Bright again. Thank the Creator for giving us this bright day. And also, we thank Him for giving us life. Amen. The day is so bright, as you all know. As you all can see, the day is so bright. And I'm standing here in front of you, as you can see, with my heart, with my African beads, with my African outerwear, and with my cake, and with my beads, with an African beads. Today, as I'm standing in front of you, I'm going to show you another thing I love about Africa. I'm going to present another thing to you, and that's one thing I also love about Africa. You know, as we are humans, you can't go about walking naked without wearing anything on you, as you can see me. You can't go about walking naked, else you'll be called a lunatic. Today I'm going to present some African clothes to you. Some African clothes which has been made dresses for we black men to wear. This is one of the clothes. This is one of the African clothes I have on. This is one of the clothes. This is one of the clothes, as you can see it. An African cloth. One thing I love about Africa is the African cloth. This is one of the clothes. African cloth. And this, as an African cloth, it has an African name. It has an African name. It has an African name. Its name is Jinyami. Jinyami is the name of this cloth. That's the African name of this cloth. The name is Jinyami. Jinyami, which simply means unless God. That's Jinyami. Jinyami, which simply means unless God. Unless God. That's Jinyami. You know. It's an African cloth, as you can see. An African wear. This is the first cloth. I'm going to present the second cloth to you. This is the second cloth. This is also an African wear. This is also an African wear, as you can see it. An African wear. Which also has an African name. It also has an African name. I love African clothes so much. It also has an African name. This is called Enyenyamia. Enyenyamia. Enyenyamia simply means if it were not to be God or if it were not God. That's the name. Enyenyamia. Enyenyamia simply means if it were not to be God or if it were not God. That's the name of this cloth. The African name is Enyenyamia. Enyenyamia. That's the African name of this globe, which simply means if it were not God or it were not to be God. This is an African globe. This is an African globe I love. I love about Africa. This is an African globe, as you can see. I'm going to present the next globe to you. This is also another African word. As you can see it, another African word. Another African globe, as y'all can see it. Another African globe, which also has an African name. It also has an African name. I love African clothes so much. And these are some clothes. These are some African clothes I'm showing to you. This is called Nyamishe. Nyamishe. That's the name of this cloth. It's called Nyamishe. Nyamishe simply means God looks. God looks. That's the name of this cloth. Nyamishe, which simply means God looks. That's the name of this cloth. Nyamishe. 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 That's the name of this cloth. This is the next one. This is also an African cloth. This is also an African cloth. I love African cloth. And I love Africa. It's also an African cloth. It also has an African name. It also has a name in Africa. It also has a name in Africa. As you can see. It also has a name. The name is Deodiano Enaucha. The name is Deodiano Enaucha. That's the name. Which simply means whatever you sow, that's what you are going to reap. Whatever you sow, that's what you reap. That's what you reap. That's the name of this club. This is the last club. It's also an African 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 club, which also has an African name, as you all can see it. Which also has an African name. The African name is Sobidiaba. Sobidiaba, which simply means if someone's owners come. That's the African name of this club. It simply means if someone's owners come. So before I end, I would like to put them on so that you see how they look on me. So just give me a minute. I like to put them on. This one of it. This is how one looks. As you all can see. This is how it looks. This is how it looks. This is an African cloth. One thing I love about Africa is the African clothing. I love African clothes so much. This is one of it. As you can see, this one of it. Okay. I had to put on the second one for you to see. And this is how this one also looks. This is how the next one also looks. As you can see, an African cloth, an African wear, a cultured wear. I love African clothes, you know, and I love Africa. So the next one for you to see. It's also the next one. Next African wear. How me. Next African wear. As you can see. Next African wear how me. Very, very beautiful. These are African clothes. They are very beautiful. I love them and I love Africa. I love African clothes so much. As you'll see. Love African clothes. These are African clothes. I love African clothes. And the last one. This is the last clothes. This is the last clothes. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. This is the last clothes. An African wear. I love African clothes. So beautiful. Very nice wear. As you can see, it's a very nice wear. An African wear is so nice. See? Just have a look at it very well. This is an African cloth I have on me. An African beads. Because I'm an African. So my fellow Africans, as you all saw the African clothes I presented to you, those are the things I love about Africa. I love African clothes so much. So I thank you all for having the time to listen to me and to know another thing I love about Africa is African clothes. Thank you all. Goodbye.